So in this video, guys, I'm going to show you guys how I brought over $1.3 million with two Faceless channel and how you can actually copy and paste the exact same structure that I used to get those channels to that amount of revenue. And one thing you guys are going to notice, it's going to be a very raw video. There's not going to be too much special editing. It is going to be a little bit lengthy because obviously to be able to make such amount of money, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. You have to write the right structures. So I put together a whole document for you guys, and I'm going to share that with you guys. So for those of you guys that are willing to put in the work to copy and paste me, you can replicate the exact same thing that I was able to do with just those two channels. Honestly, I could say I did this in the beginning without having any skill, and I had no prior education, and also I wasn't an expert in when it comes to YouTube or building Faceless channel. And I was nobody online. Even to this day, time I make this video, I'm still nobody online. This channel is I have maybe about 6,000, 7,000 subscribers, and to be quite honest, that's not even that much people. And I don't make my money from this specific channel that you're watching right now. And I wasn't famous, right? I didn't have to do anything to be on camera to go viral, and I didn't have to sell anything on those channels. It's just I got them to get views and YouTube pay me, turn those views into revenue. And I did it at 90% profit margin. And for a lot of businesses, a lot of different stuff that people can do, one thing I found out is that that's actually a crazy high amount. So the 1.3 mil that you guys saw, 90% of that was actually profit. And I started all this in my parents' spare bedroom. This was me when I think I was around 17, about to get to 18 at that time. I started all this in my parents' bedroom before I was able to generate enough money to be able to get my own place. And what I want to share with you guys, number one, I want to share my story, and I want to show you how you can start your own channel, and also how to pick a profitable niche, which is the foundation of building a successful Faceless channel, and how to structure your Faceless channel so that you can actually get views, which is one of the main things that a lot of people struggle with. Now, I always say this. If I was able to do this, anybody can be able to do this. I was speaking to a friend of mine in the car the other day, and we actually met this very successful, I would say this very successful entrepreneur. He's 21. He recently got a high rise in Miami, and we're talking. The guy actually said this to us, and we actually laughed. Like, I actually laughed. He said, "I'm literally a dumbass, and I'm here." Now, I'm very big in the word that you say to yourself, but when he said that, we all just laughed. And what he really meant to say is that he's not the most smartest person. He doesn't have a degree. Just 1 year prior, actually a couple of years prior, he was in high school, just a regular kid. He was able to accomplish financial freedom, which is what a lot of people reach for at a very young age. And he actually did put the work, but it's still mind-boggling that you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to do the stuff on social media to go viral. It's not as complex as a lot of people put it to be. And at the same time, we have so much information online to the point where our brain just get cluttered by information and we never apply them. And also they just disarrange information where it's like this, there, this, that, and you guys never have a structure to follow step by step, which is what I plan on doing on this video. And I'm speaking to you guys right now. I was born in Haiti. I'm not going to say I was born very poor, but I was born in the middle class in Haiti, and obviously the earthquake happened around 2010, which caused us to move into the United States for better living. In the beginning, we moved in with my grandma, came into the U.S. We basically stayed, and I didn't know it at that time, but we basically lived in the ghetto. And obviously, as a kid, you don't really think about stuff like that until you kind of told you're living in the ghetto. But my mom and dad were able to work hard to be able to keep us provide for. And at a very young stage, when I got into high school, I was just dabbling online, and I ended up finding different ways that I can make money online. And around 2017, determined to actually make this work by seeing people that were succeeding, how were making 6 figures, 7 figures, even 8 figures on the internet. I knew that I was able to do the same thing also. Only thing I know, I spoke English, I understand what they were saying, so I know I was able to do it. And I also hated college. I hated school, to be quite honest. When I see this, I really mean it with a passion. I would wake up on Monday to go to school. I would literally, there was a couple of days that as a man, or as a young man, I actually almost dropped here. Like I would rather skip school, but I didn't want to get whooping. And for me, what was very important is when I was about to graduate high school is I just wanted freedom, and I didn't know how to determine basically define what freedom was. And one thing I found out is a lot of people that go to college, for example, me, I didn't get a scholarship. Like I said, I wasn't the smartest kid. The only scholarship that I remember somebody tried to help my parents apply for was a scholarship where if you come in to the state under a disaster, right, they kind of give you this grant to be able to go to college, which I thought was basically kind of like, hey, poor you, and let's give us this money to go to school. And I didn't want to go to college and actually get in debt. And one thing I realized, a lot of people that were older than me that I've met that went to school, they're graduated, but they weren't working in their field. Like they would graduate, can't find a job, and then they work at Amazon warehouse. I'm like, you could have just like literally just skipped that and just went to the warehouse. And I knew that time was the most valuable thing I can't get back. And from seeing people that were able to go from zero to a certain amount by different businesses online and even Faceless channel, I was like, instead of spending 4 years, I can just spend that into trying to do this. And I know that the potential and the cap and the earning for this is almost to the point where I can make the high seven figure, which is what I basically was able to do. For me, the most common sense thing was to actually focus into this. And I tried before I came across Faceless YouTube channels, or YouTube automation, some people call it, is I tried Shopify dropshipping, and obviously I was very young, I didn't have any money. I didn't work a job. My mom didn't want me to work a job. She wanted me to focus in school. So I ended up spending money on Facebook ad for the store. I remember my mom gave me $500, and I literally convinced her. I was like, hey mom, all I just need is $500 for me to put into this business, and I promise you we're gonna be rich. And obviously, I talked her ear out to the point where she was able to give me the 500, and I spent that on ad, and I got one product to be sold. It was $23, and basically I was like negative 570 something or 60 something. You guys can do the math. And not even that is I had to pay for tools and software and stuff like that to get everything set up for me to have the store running. And I ran out of money, so I had to find something else. And I tried other business like social media marketing. I tried selling clothes, basically flipping stuff on eBays and stuff like OfferUp to actually make money, selling my PS3, selling my PS4, shoes that I haven't used and things like that, just to bring in some cash flow because I wanted to reinvest that fund and to continue the Shopify store. And in the search of doing that, I was also thinking, what other business can I start without having much capital? And I did affiliate marketing. I remember I made $100 a day because I had a friend of mine that was doing. He was doing a lot more. He was actually profiting from doing that. And when I tried it, I made $100 in 1 week. And I remember we did a video about it. You guys could see he uploaded on his channel. And basically after that, I never got any other affiliate sales, right? Nobody went into the link to actually buy my product. And finally in 2019, I came across Faceless YouTube channels or YouTube automation. And I did my research and digging, and I dive into the space. Now, after 6 months, it took me 6 months to be able to start seeing some result. And my very first paycheck from YouTube was actually $1,200. But it didn't start that way. To be able to even help my friends start their own channels and many other people that I've worked with. And before I even got to that point, my journey was the very first month, I made $0. Second month, I made $0. Third month, I made $0. Fifth, I made zero. Six was the month that I actually made $1,200. The fifth month was actually when I made $1,200. And the sixth month is when I got paid from Google. So it took me literally 6 months before I received a single paycheck. And obviously, with you guys watching this, you guys are going to have more of a heads up than I actually did. Because I'm going to run you guys through the whole blueprint that I use to build profitable channels. Now, this is going to be a PDF that I put together with the help of a partner of mine. And we're going to be talking about, number one, how to choose a profitable niche for your channel. Number two, the mentality and also setting expectation. Because sometimes people say, oh, you can make $1 million with this business partner. I want to set some expectation for you guys and what to expect. And also going to talk about pre-monetized channel, getting your channel monetized at a very fast time frame, and how to find video idea that have the potential of going viral, because a lot of people struggle getting views. And modeling video, scripting, basically building the team to automate the whole thing for you, scaling, and certain things that I noticed a lot of people doing. They're starting for you not to do. So basically giving you a not to do list. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is choosing your niche. Now, one term that we're going to talk about also is RPM. This is basically, I'm going to put in my term like rate per mil, right? How much you get paid per thousands of views. And in French, mil actually stand for 1,000. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for. So rate per 1,000 of views, how much you get paid per 1,000 of views. Ideally, I don't worry about this too much because certain channels that upload a certain topic, some get paid more than other, right? Some channels and some niches you get into, you might get paid $1,000, let's say for 100,000 views. And for some channel, it might be $500 for 100,000 views. Exact same view, but because different category, different niches get paid lesser, or some get paid more. And the reason I don't worry about this is because a lot of times some of the channels that actually have low RPM, right, they get paid lesser for views, they tend to go viral more easier compared to channels that have higher RPM. So for example, niches like finance have a very high RPM. Niches like health have very high RPM. Compared to, let's say for example, if you have a channel where you upload gaming, depending on what type of game, you might have a lower RPM. But the thing is, with finance and health content, it's very hard to get a video to get 1 million views, even sometimes 100,000 plus. But with gaming, the niche is so lucrative, it's very easy if you know what you're doing to be able to get a video that go viral and get 1 million views. So sometimes it even out. I've seen people that have lower RPM channels that are making way more than somebody that have a higher RPM channel. And sometimes both of them have been doing it for years. They've been running their channel for years. So I'm gonna give you guys some idea. It's always crucial to select a niche that have sometime a higher RPM, especially if you're targeting or if you're gonna be making evergreen video in your industry. What I mean by evergreen, because I made multiple videos in the past talking about this, is that you can upload a video today, still in the future people would still watch a video because it will still be relevant. Now, here are a couple of niches that I put down together that you guys can actually use and leverage. For example, the first one, which is very trending right now with the current thing that's happening, because there's a lot of stuff happening with the economy, potential war, you have China this, you have Trump this, you have Canada doing this. So you have a lot of stuff that'll happen with the economy. So economy is a very profitable niche that I personally myself have about 2-3 clients I'm working that are within that space. Now, anything that have to do with global politics could be about global politics. For example, a channel that I put on here as an example is Context Matter, that upload video that have to do with geopolitics, and whether it's about stuff that are happening within the US economy, because you can just talk about the US economy in general. Now, one thing that I would recommend as a disclaimer, because I've had a channel that ended up getting terminated from YouTube, and I would highly recommend, if you're going to do this channel, and I'm going to talk about this more further on, that you actually make sure when you're doing the videos, they're actually credible videos, right? Because sometimes there's channels that share false information, and YouTube will quickly get into that. And also, I would highly recommend you use a human voice, which we're going to go more further on. We're going to talk about that when we talk about how to actually create the videos. Another niche, this is more of a little bit vague, top 10 content. Most of you guys probably have seen those videos. They're basically evergreen channel. What they upload is, for example, top 10 thing that can kill you, right? Top 10 best places to visit. Top 10 Australian can kill, 10 ways Australian can kill you. This is how Mexico can end you. So a bunch of different topics, which none of them are usually related, but they're just uploading clickbaity topic and talking about top 10 this, top 10 that. Now, another niche that you guys can actually do is the satisfying niche. It is a niche that have a lot of competition, but one thing that I would say also with those niches when you're doing them, because you're basically repurposing content that's already on YouTube or on other platform, is you're gonna need to make it original. Which you're gonna be talking about how to make your videos original, because there's different things that you can do, because you're gonna be leveraging other people's content, but there's stuff that you can do to keep your channel from not getting demonetized. And the next thing is gonna be drama/tea, and that could be celebrity gossip, which is a big thing. And I run a couple channels in that space too. And it could even be like rumors, right? Because sometimes there's people that does gossip not just towards celebrity, it could be toward about even what do they call them, it kind of tied the political space. But sometimes I've seen people that have built channel just based on Trump gossip, and it's all about Trump, and that's all the channel's about. The other one is gonna be ghost stories, like nighttime stories, like telling a story about ghosts. Doesn't have to be real. Those channels get a ton of traction. It can also be a true story, like true crime stories. A lot of people like watching those videos, falling asleep to them. Even sometimes police interrogation. You guys probably have seen those channels where they actually get a footage of an interrogation and they actually break it down. And or even expert analysis on high profile cases. So for example, you might take a case and you break it down. There's a lot of channels that actually talk about this type of topic. Now, the next thing is gadget, which is basically an evergreen niche. And the good thing about this is you can actually make money in the back end through affiliate programs. Now, you just review project, different text, things that are coming out, especially these days, there's a lot of stuff that are happening with AI and robots. So this is a very lucrative niche. And this ties in a little bit with what we talked about earlier, which is like police body cam, detective reviewing different cases. This is the stuff that is going very, very, very viral. I think I also might have revealed one of the channel I work on. We're making over 20,000 on a monthly basis with just uploading topic on these specific topic, just random stuff about interrogation. And the next one is Dashcam. So there's channel that actually just upload, for example, like Chill Scares. They just get different dashcam footage from the internet where, let's say, for example, a ghost was caught on camera, or let's say we accidentally recorded a UFO. You guys probably seen, I remember I was in Miami, and there was like this sighting of like this UFO. It was very popular. I think it might have been last year, the year before last year, where everybody was talking about it. Right? There's people that had the footage where there was a couple lights. So you have channels that are sharing those sometime stuff that are weird sightseeing on dashcam, and they do reaction over those. And you have luxury lifestyle. So this is basically talking about top 10 most expensive stuff that President Donald Trump owned, top 10 Hollywood most expensive houses, top 10 most luxurious cruise in the world. So this is just sharing luxury news in general. And one of the most popular one that you guys know is you can have a sport channel. For example, Rebound is a basketball channel where they upload basketball content. Now, I highly recommend, because some of those niches, they're this specific niche is a very saturated niche when it comes to certain sub niche that are in sport. Some of the niche that I always talk about, I had a student that started a channel on this, was more sport that are on the come up, but that are not as popular as basketball and soccer, right? Almost everybody know that. There's millions of channels that are in those category. For example, one of the sub niche in sport that I recommend to a lot of my students is you can do Formula One, which is a fast growing sport right now. Now, I remember boxing MMA was a little bit less competitive if we look 5 year ago, but now it's becoming a little bit more channels popping out. But I believe Formula One is one of the sport that's becoming popular and becoming very mainstream to the point where it wasn't a really to watch sport, but now it's very very popular and there's a lot of trends on YouTube for that. And you have travel, making content, whether it's about 10 places to visit in Florida, 10 places to visit in Dallas, Texas, 10 best restaurants to go to in Dallas, Texas, and things like that, or whether it's 10 best places to visit with a US passport, or 10 country to move into as an expat if you want to leave the United States. Like, different content on just traveling perform best. And there's obviously sub niche within traveling that you can get into, because I just literally mentioned some sub niche. For example, you can have an expat. There's channel that actually just upload expat content. So for example, I'm gonna go on YouTube. There's this channel that I used to follow. It's called Scary Harry. I probably didn't spell it right. Travel. And what this person did, I'm gonna see if I can find it. If not, then we'll just actually skip it. I forgot exactly how to spell it. There it is, Scary Harry. And what they did, for example, you could see in the last couple of days, 2 days ago, all they do is upload 12 cheapest place to live, right? To retire. 12 best country to retire. 10 island you can buy an expensive property. So their content focus on expat. What expat mean, if you guys don't know what it means, is basically people that's moving from one country to another country. So instead of just saying 10 most luxurious country to visit, right? 10 best places to eat. They focus on people moving abroad, right? 12 best country to live and migrate abroad. 12 cheapest towns to live in the Mediterranean. So they're focusing on people that are searching on YouTube content about moving to another country, which is what they sub niche into. Now, if we go to the next one, which is brand history, which is a good one, which those are more documentary. If you search up the channel Big Company, they do more documentary content. So for example, they'll document different brands. So how did Rolex came to be? How did Apple came to be? How did Berkshire Hathaway came to be a billion-dollar company? So they do documentary on different brands in general. Another one that kind of tie in with celebrity gossip, but sub niche now, is more hip hop gossip. Now, I really believe there was a time where this niche was very untapped, but now there's more channel coming out. And also, I really believe in the Hispanic space, which I don't speak Spanish, which is also an untapped one for the people that speak Spanish. But rap news, for example, Rizzo is a good channel that upload gossip or trend that are happening within the rap industry. And there's always something new, right? There's always a rapper shooting another rapper. There's always this thing happening. There's always this beef happening. And there's a big audience that love those artists, that watch those artists, that follow those artists, that are always keeping up to date with what's happening with the hip hop industry. Now, the next one that I would recommend is we have the gaming and review, which this one is self-explanatory itself. And this is actually an abnormal one, which I've seen have small channels that have gone millions of views, which was very unexpected. It's very niche where most people wouldn't think about it, which is basically chess match. A lot of people like to actually watch chess match. I even mispronounced it, believe it or not, and they have like commentary in the background. Even poker is a popular one too at the same time. And we have documentary, could be about different things, documentary on how how our body evolved, how to eat healthy, or how, like, say for example, how the ocean came to be, how deep is the ocean, like documentary on random thing. But I would recommend you obviously subniche into something more specific. You can have, let's say for example, a nutrition channel where you just do documentary about eating healthy, and you can cover different topic within that specific area. And Magnet Media is a big channel that actually cover this. Is what they actually do is they do documentary on different businesses, right? So the dark truth about PayPal, which Elon Musk started, and they even talked about YouTube, which, and talked about Mr. Beast. They talk about Henry Ford, who started, the Ford company that started making the cars. So this is a very good one to tap into, but you're gonna have to subniche into something more specific, where there's conspiracy documentary about certain people or about businesses or company. It could even be documentary about countries, to be quite honest with you guys, which I've seen a couple channels actually replicate to get to a very high successful level. Now the second thing is, which is gonna be very short because this isn't a mindset program or course. It's just more of tech that you guys can actually implement, which is the first thing is gonna be picking your niche. Now, one thing I want you guys to actually know and focus on, it's more about quality as we move forward than quantity. There's a lot of people I've seen start channel, they pick their niche and they just upload a bunch of random video. And one of the things that I tell people on YouTube, if you can provide good quality video consistently, it's just a matter of fact before your channel become profitable. One of the reasons a lot of people fail is they might upload 100 video, but they're very crappy video. It's better, instead of uploading, let's say for example, 3 videos a week, right, which add up to about 12 videos a month. Instead of doing 12 videos a month, it's probably better you only do 2 videos a month, which is kind of very low, to be quite honest, because the more you can upload, the more chance you can have. But you want to upload, if you're uploading in quantity, but you want to make sure the quality is there. So it's better you upload 2 good video or great video than uploading 12 video per month that are very mediocre. And I'm not gonna go too deep into detail about quality. When people ask me, okay, how do I tell a good video from a bad video? Whether it's gonna be you making the video or somebody else that you're gonna automate the video to. If you can look at the competition, right, the competitor of your channel, and you wouldn't choose watching your video over theirs, then it's not a good video. It's not a good quality. Naturally, when you guys go to a movie theater, I've never been to a movie theater where I walked out, which how bad was the movie was, but I've been to a movie theater where I was like, this was a terrible movie. And I have a deep down feeling, because a lot of times it's my opinion, and I can tell a lot of time when I meet and talk with client, they know when their video is terrible, because I would ask them before I give my opinion. They're like, yeah, it's kind of trash, it could be better. And so I really believe you guys have that judgment to be able to tell a good quality. If you watch a lot of good video on YouTube, you can tell when a video is terrible. Now the third thing is, now that we have our niche, is I highly recommend, which a lot of people don't actually talk about this, is you guys get a pre-monetized channel. Now, one thing that I can't really do, to be quite honest, is some people say, how do you get those? Because I have one friend of mine actually built those. He doesn't really build it for the people. Since I started when I was 17, he actually built them. I don't know how to build those channels. Some people use bot, which I highly recommend that you don't. What he does, I don't know the exact formula, but from what he does, he owns multiple different websites that are very old, that get a lot of traffic, and obviously he funneled the traffic to those channels. And usually the people get paid a couple of cents, and they're subscribed to the channel. It's a very complex process, which is why he doesn't really do it mainstream. So I highly recommend this website where you can actually buy a monetized channel. I'll be very careful, make sure they have a lot of reviews and things like that, because this can make or break. Some people buy channels that are pre-monetized and it might be shadow banned, right? So now you're gonna build, let's say, month of work on a channel that will never go anywhere. So this is one of those things where even my guy, like sometimes when I can't find a channel, I would literally reach out to a lot of people. Sometimes I get channels from people that already had an old account, and I would use their old account and start working on it a little bit to get some traction. So I highly recommend you start with a pre-monetized channel or an old account, an old YouTube account, which some of you guys probably do have. So if you have a YouTube channel, right, if you have a YouTube account you haven't used in months or even years, or you uploaded 2 to 3 videos but you haven't used them, the fact that it's a couple months old actually gonna help you start the channel. One thing I found out is, this is a theory, to be quite honest, is I've seen that fresher account or older account actually get promoted faster than fresher account. If I create a new email today and I launch a channel next week, for some reason I noticed that the growth is a little bit slower. It's very strange, it's very weird. I'm not sure if it's something that YouTube is doing or if it's just like from my personal experience, maybe I haven't like done it to the extent of, I try with hundreds of channel, but from a couple channels that I've started, I've noticed that an age account perform a lot better. And this is a cheat if you're looking to maximize, your return on investment with quality video. Because some people, they'll start like from very scratch and they upload videos. Sometimes it might take them even months to get monetized. Now, we're going to go into number 4. Before we actually get into this, I highly recommend you get the tool that is called vidIQ. With vidIQ specifically, it's a tool that you can use. I recommend that you go to the Chrome store and you actually can download the Chrome extension. So if you go to the Chrome store and you type vidIQ on there, and this is the extension, I already have it downloaded. This is a tool. When you go to YouTube, it's going to start giving you data about certain things. Like when I go to YouTube, I go to overview, I can see like when this video was uploaded, what days did it start going viral, I can see the video tag, the channel tags, and all this good stuff. It's going to help you to be able to see behind the back door of why some video goes success, or why some videos succeed, and also why some channels succeed, which we're going to need if we're going to model and replicate success. Now, I have a few methods to how I come up with video idea. Actually, for example, sometime I believe I counted, I was speaking to a couple clients about 9 to 10 different methods to come up with ideas, right? It varies from using your channel analytic, Google Trends, the outlier score, which I'm going to talk about, which is one of the most important thing I added on here. So that way, the outlier score, and also sometimes looking at competition and things like that. Also looking at the market, the niche that you're in, certain ways that I do research. There's multiple different methods that I use, but sometimes certain methods only apply at certain level, right? If you're someone starting from scratch, you cannot use the YouTube analytic. Your channel have no data for you to look at. So one of the most easy one for beginners is using the outlier score. What that basically mean, to actually break that down, when you have vidIQ, and this would work, sometime it might glitch with the Chrome extension, it would show you the outlier score, which is this right here, like 1x, 3x, 0.1x, 0.5x, which is what we're looking at in the screenshot right here. The outlier score basically tell you the score of a video uploaded compared to what the channel usually generate per video. So on average, to break this down, because sometimes it was very hard for me to tell the definition, is if a channel usually get, let's say, 10,000 views per video, right? You put all the average together. Now, a video got 30,000. The outlier score for that is 3x. That's 3 times above average. Ideally, when I'm coming up with idea, I want to subscribe to a couple competitors so that are within your niche. If you have a travel channel, you look at different travel channels similar to this, and you want to find the video that have, usually with vidIQ, it would be like red, that have a way over normal outlier score. So on average, we can see 1,000 views, 12,000, 32,000, 8,000, 11,000, 13,000, and boom, we have 172,000, which is 17 times what the channel usually get on a video. So this is abnormal. So this will be an idea, because there's a reason. I always tell people, for the most part, most videos don't go viral by accident. I really believe it's a very rare amount of video that got tricked or got somehow promoted by the algorithm on accident. The reason, because YouTube have so many metrics put in line, and the main goal of the algorithm is to help keep the viewer on the platform. So I really believe naturally videos that have a long retention rate, that keep people on the platform, that people watch, like, and engage with, it promote those videos even more. So when a video go viral, sometimes it might be the thumbnail, it might be something about the title, it might be something about the script, it might be something about the way the video was done, that cause it for people to stay and watch a long duration amount of time on that video compared to all the other video that did not perform too well compared to this one, that made people stay and watch to make the algorithm promote this video. So which is why I want to replicate that, which is basically replicating what's already been working, which is one of the most powerful way I come up with video idea. The second bonus one is naturally, when you start having a channel, which I'm not going to talk about, in YouTube Studio, different channel within your space, and YouTube will start recommending you video idea of what to make your videos or your future videos about. So once you start getting some momentum on your channel, YouTube will pick up the data of your subscribers and would actually tell you what other most popular video that they're watching or most likely to watch, so you can replicate and create ideas around this video, which make it a lot more easier for us. Number 5, which I've already talked about a little bit, is you're gonna model videos that's already been working in general. So in this, we find channel very similar to ours. So you're gonna subscribe to them. Be sure to subscribe to them so you can save them. And I always want to make sure I tell people, make sure it's within your niche, right? Because sometimes you can looking at the keywords and the topics, which is obviously common sense. You can see and make sure that the topics have to do with what your channel is about. Now, when I started in the beginning, I actually made the videos myself. So I was making over 100% profit margin. Besides, the only thing that I was spending was about a lot of hours a day. So I was spending my time, right? And luckily I got to the point where I can trade money to get my time back. But a lot of time for certain beginners, if someone's completely broke, then you're gonna have to trade a lot of time, to be quite honest. Because I started completely broke. If you're someone that at least have the availability where you have a job where you have some income coming in, you can use that income or a piece of that income to actually support you automating and having an expert or having a team actually run into the production for your channel. Now, to quickly cover it, usually for each video we need a script to be written of what the video is going to be about or on the topic. Now, obviously for a script writer, you're going to need a writer that is specialized within that specific niche. If you have a channel about health, you might want somebody who's a doctor to actually write the script for you. And the fact that we have freelancer website, you can find a doctor, which personally myself, I've hired multiple different doctors that live in Pakistan or sometimes India that actually write the script for us, right? We pay very little. I would say very little, close to nothing for someone that is in the state, right? Some of us will go out for lunch and we spend 25, 30 bucks, which is what I would pay them. So I would find an expert within that niche. For example, if you even have a Formula One channel, you want a writer that actually watch the games, right? That actually watch the races and knows the player. A lot of people, we talk about AI, ChatGPT, and this and that. I've used ChatGPT, and sometimes the scripts, they have errors. You need an expert to be able to proofread the script to make sure the information is accurate, and even sometimes it has some human touch or human commentary onto that script, which is why it's so high I write it to this day, and just not solely rely on ChatGPT. Now, 7 is usually we're going to need a voiceover and editing. Now, for the most part, I use 11 Lab. I don't even hire any human voiceover anymore because it got to the point, YouTube don't like robotic voice, but it got to the point where 11 Lab have actual human voice that you can actually use, right? It's an AI software, but it have voice that sound like a human to the point where you won't even recognize if it's an AI software speaking to you. So I highly recommend you get 11 Lab, which is usually going to be around to be able to get like the access to hundreds of voices, I think, which is probably around, I put $20 per month, but I believe it might be, let's go to, yeah, it's actually $11 a month, so I actually underestimated it. Yeah, it's gonna be $11 a month, but some of you guys might start with the $5 per month. For me, I actually put $20. I don't know where I got that from. So it's gonna be just $11 a month. And once you log in, so for example, let me just log in into my account. Now, my team have access to my account, and I have different voices that I actually use for my channel. There's a library section where you have like hundreds of voices that you can actually use.
Success does not consist
That are AI, but they sound like human. They actually take the voice from real human. Some of them are even voice actors that they actually use their voice and add on the platform, which they could be the character for your channel. So when it comes to editing now, I recommend you find an editor that are on onlinejob.ph. Now, some of you guys probably, if you're gonna start on a budget, you're gonna make the video yourself. I'm gonna produce a video in the future. It might be the next video after this one I upload on the channel where I talk about, it's gonna be a very long video, maybe about even 40-minute long to be quite honest, 30-40 minutes. I show how you can actually create a Faceless video yourself using CapCut. But usually, I usually hire a VA to be able to do this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. Most of the time, this writer and also this editor, I could just go to onlinejob.ph, which is a very good website that I use. It is going to ask you for a cost, but you just use it once to hire your team, and then you don't have to pay the subscription because it is a subscription. And also, I use Upwork.com, which is a freelancer website you can actually use. Now, onlinejob.ph, for example, I'm not paying for it right now. I believe every time I pay for it is when I need a new team. It's like around $69. Yeah, it's $69 per month. Once you hire, you can literally just cancel it, to be honest. Now, you can create 3 job posts per month, but the thing is sometimes you're not able to have as much as an option of talent if you just use the free version, which is why usually I just pay for this once, build a team, and then boom, I'm done. Now, when usually I bring in my editor, the editor would actually use my 11 Lab account, which is I have my editor, they have access to my 11 Lab account to generate the voices, and he or she would edit the video for me too. Now, I usually will give them this template right here, which is like a guideline. Now, a lot of time when you find people, they already know what to do and what not to do. It's a simple thing as, you could use YouTube library and different things like that, stuff about copyright, what to do and what not to do, just to keep the channel monetized. I usually make sure that they actually go through this because I don't want to risk somebody doing videos on my channel where they're just using a bunch of copyright material, not understanding the rules, what fair use is, and then boom, the channel gets taken away. I've had cases, this personally happened to myself. About 3 years ago, I had a channel that I built, very successful channel I was very proud of. It was in the dating space. It was making around $5,000 a month, and I woke up one morning, the channel was terminated from YouTube for basically breaking the policy. I never got a correct answer, but I remember one of the team member was testing different thumbnails that they basically were copying and pasting from another channel. And I really believe that was one of the reasons the channel, got taken down. But I took full responsibility. But ever since then, I wanted to make sure that something that doesn't happen again by setting certain rules and certain thing in place so that the team could be aware. So if you guys want access to this, you guys can message me on IG. I can send you access to this, and you can just have it. I'll send you the PDF if you want it. Now, when it comes to avoiding copyright music, I use Epidemic Sound, and the sheet I did mention, like the YouTube library, which sometimes they have very crappy music. I use Epidemic Sound, which I paid for, not that expensive, to get royalty-free music. Now, the next thing is once we have the voiceover and the editing, is we're gonna basically need a thumbnail designer. So the thumbnail is the art, the picture you see before you click on the video, right? And this is usually, if you're gonna hire somebody, it's the cheapest part. The good thing is YouTube, a couple years ago, they didn't have this feature. They have a feature now where you can actually upload 3 thumbnails. So when you upload a video, you can upload 3 thumbnails. So as soon as you upload the video, one person scrolling might see this thumbnail and the other person might see this. They're testing to see which one people click on the most, and it would promote the one that have the highest click-through rate, which I recommend people take highly advantage of. So that way you can yourself either make the thumbnails or get a team, usually make 3 variation, so we can see which one performed the best. Sometimes the text might be different, the picture might be different, and see which one people click on the most, because YouTube actually want the creator to be successful. So they give you as much tools and features to make sure that you're able to create content or put out stuff that people are more likely to watch and click on, because it also helps the platform in the long term too at the same time. For hiring talent, you can obviously go to Fiverr, Upwork, OnlineJob.ph. Usually thumbnail costs anywhere from $5 to $15 per thumbnail. Max I paid was $25 per thumbnail, but that was very temporary before I hired somebody that was a little bit cheaper. But for the most part right now in current time, 5 is usually certain niches have more easier thumbnails. For niches that have more complex thumbnails with like a lot of Photoshop, I usually pay around like $15 max per thumbnail. Now, once you're able to create the content and you have the team that's gonna be making the video for you, I want to talk about scaling the channel. In general, once you start having the first video ready to be uploaded, is you want to make sure your title is keyword optimized. So for example, if we go to this channel right here, one of the reasons that the algorithm, YouTube know what this channel is about, right? They know who to promote it to the point where once you have a big channel like this, your video, somebody who like watching, let's say baby video or 7 years old, are not gonna get this video, right? 7 years old not watching expat video, where to move, what country to leave, living right now. So which is why you want to train the algorithm, right, to be able to understand what your channel is about, which you mean by using keyword within your niche that people are searching for. So a lot of time what people would do, say for example this video on 7 underrated country you can live for cheap in 2025. Some people will just start their channel and they'll be like, do not watch this video, or watch this video now. That would actually be their title to try to get people to click on the video. But that's not telling the algorithm what your channel is about. You're not training it, and you're not going to be getting views. You can do that when you have a major channel and you already have a subscriber base. So naturally, the algorithm will know who to promote the video to. So you want to make sure your title are keyword optimized, which means having keyword that's within your niche that people are searching for. So if you guys look at the title of this video, there's most likely faceless channels or YouTube automation in the title of this video, because I'm doing video on this channel for people that are looking to start a faceless YouTube automation channel. So you guys will notice I'm using this also right now. And B is your script should also be keyword optimized. Now naturally a good writer will be able to as they're writing the script, they're putting keywords, that have to do with your niche. And C is the thumbnail should show what the video is about without the viewer actually reading the title. Usually when you're scrolling through on YouTube, a good thumbnail basically tells a story. Which is, if you just scroll, like for example, I'm just gonna scroll, I'm just gonna stop at a video. I'm not even gonna click, I'm not even gonna look at the title. I'm gonna cover it with my hand. All right, let's look at this video. So straight from the bat, I actually covered it with my hand so I can't see the title. I see a quote. It looked like some ritual, some stuff like that going on. Now I uncovered the title. I put my finger over my screen. It said the Book of Revelation is unfolding before our eyes, right? So which kind of go with this. I didn't thought about Revelation, but I'm not too far from it, right? So naturally, people should look, or your viewer, if you have a travel channel, right? This kind of just tell the whole story itself. You have a huge landscape, a guy in a backpack looking at a massive, beautiful view, right? For example, even this, right? This is another video about Faceless automation channel. You see YouTube, you see earning, you see money, you see online business. So all those actually tell a story and it kind of help your audience to stop and actually look at the title and then usually click. So you have to make sure, and Mr. Beast does a very good job at that your thumbnails actually tell a story. Whatever your video is about, your thumbnail actually tell a story. A lot of time when you look at the competitors, example channel similar to yours, you can see this being done live. And usually you want to have a hook. For example, when you're watching this video, my hook was, I'm going to show you guys, and I'll show you guys channel, I'll show you guys proof, basically how I got 1.3 mil with 2 channels, right? That was my hook. It's something like, whoa, 1.3 mil. That's nice. So it kind of just give you guys proof from straight up, right? Okay, he had the channel, he showed me the proof, he had this. And sometimes on my video, I would literally just start off, I'd be like, I've been for it, I have plaque in the back of my wall. I reached that for reaching 100,000 subscribers. I have a gold plaque somewhere on the road. Okay, it's right here. So I have a gold plaque. Sometimes I show people, I don't really show them. It's right here on the top right there. So basically, subconsciously, even having this in the background, which was not planned, it also is a hook. Like, okay, like I want to learn Faceless channels to have like a thumb that have a play button in the back, or he just showed me $1 million in YouTube revenue. So basically, having a hook, right? If your video is about top 10 way to cure a headache, like the video start off. By the end of this video, you're gonna know. By the end of this video, you're gonna learn how to cure a headache with a 10-minute, like something like that. So all your video have to start with a hook to grab people's attention, to have them continue to watch till the end of the video. And usually storytelling play a powerful role. Is having storytelling in your script help to keep the viewer engaged, because usually there's a quote that say fact tell, story sold, something like that. So if you want somebody to retain something, usually you want to tie it to like a story. And that's why sometimes when you're trying to teach a kid a lesson, instead of saying don't touch the stove, you could be like, all right, when I was younger, or when this happened, I ended up touching the stove. I had to go to the hospital, and this happened, yada yada yada. And guess what? I ended up missing a hand, and this was my finger was, I couldn't use my hand. I couldn't even eat cookie, whatever. You make it sound more scary to the point where the kid is like, okay, I would actually never touch a stove. So you want to add a story behind it, which usually create feeling and emotion, and also help people retain what they're watching and even stay engaged with what they're actually watching. And G is analyzing your channel to start getting some traction is very important. I tell people sometimes once they start having like 30 plus videos, they slow down a little bit and see what went viral, what performed better than other, and try to replicate and try to find out what actually caused a video that got more views compared to the other to get to where they are. And of course, you want to make sure you have a consistency, because consistency play a big role when it comes to YouTube. So you want to make sure you actually stay consistent with your channel. I've seen people, true story, I had somebody that started a channel, and I think they uploaded about 50 videos and they ended up stopping. And basically the channel was doing decent, the channel started dropping, so they got discouraged and they just stopped the whole channel in general. And I remember the student, I had a follow-up call with them, and once I had the call with the student, they're like, oh, Freud, I actually haven't looked at the channel for over 2 months now, and I seen that they haven't uploaded. And we looked at the channel, and we actually had a text, and we look at the channel. There was one video that went viral, like a week prior, the video went viral. And we ended up going back to the channel because he was like, oh my God, I want to keep the momentum. So we ended up having a viral video. But one of the lessons, because that's not going to happen to everybody. Some people will just give up and then there won't be a viral video. And sometimes some video doesn't get promoted as soon as you upload it. It might go viral 2, 6 months or 10 months after you upload it. So you want to make sure you have that consistency. Obviously, if you're improving, you're applying a lot of stuff that I teach here, it's almost impossible for your channel not to produce. Sometimes I've seen some channels that take longer than other, but eventually the fruit of the labor, you actually get to reap those. You actually get to enjoy them. Now, 10 things that to do and not to do, mainly not to do, to be quite honest, changes. A is you don't want to exhaust you, for the people that's going to automate the channel, you don't want to exhaust your investment for the project by overproducing more video. Some people that have started, let's say for example you have some fun, you work a job, you're able to actually pay for the video, and let's say that each video going to cost you $45 per video, right? And let's say you're able to set aside $200 per month to invest into your channel, which is going to be about, let's say, 5 videos. Sometimes some people will go overboard where they'll go over their expense. So they'll be like, okay, let me create 30 videos, right? All up front. I usually tell people do 1 video at a time. You can pay your team per video, because one thing I see a lot of people do, they're so working with agencies and different things like that that do video, and they pay them for bulk and they produce a massive amount of video, and then they ended up having no money, and sometimes they don't want to make the video, so they just stop the channel in general. It's better for you to upload lesser and you identify what's working, you analyze your videos, you start getting some traction to dial down on what's working. And I never start paying my team like in bulk or every single month till the channel is actually profitable. Because if I'm spending, let's say, $500 a month on a channel and I'm making $1,000 from it, that's for me as a channel. I can scale, I can produce more video, and sometimes it means that when you produce more, you actually get paid more, because I'm making back the payment, I'm paying the team, and also making $500 extra on top of that. And sometimes you have to wait before posting your next video to study your analytic. Some people just upload videos and not understand, okay, why my video didn't perform, or also why this video performed a little bit better than the other video on the channel. And don't publish short to the same channel. I don't preach short that much. I know people personally that make hundreds of thousands with shorts, but I tell people when you're doing that, it's a whole separate channel. A short channel and a long form channel are 2 different things. It's 2 different algorithms. When you have a channel that go viral and short, you start uploading long form video, I promise you guys, for the most part, 90% of the time, your long form video aren't gonna get views. Because if YouTube see that your channel perform with short, they're not gonna show people long form video, because YouTube will show what people are proven to watch, because the algorithm want people to send the platform. And always keep an eye out for trend. In certain niches, there might be certain thing that's going viral in recent time. And if you're not someone that's doing your research, looking at the competitors, keeping an eye out, then you always miss out on them. And if you're not providing what people are watching current time, you can't keep up to date and actually produce what people want to see in that current time. And E, keep a list of competitors, which you actually talk about. And one tip that I will give, if you guys can find competitors that are smaller channel that started in the last 3, even max 6 months maximum, and that are getting hundreds of thousands of views per video, and usually those channels, they might have like 10,000 subscribers. They're going really fast, or they have 5,000 or 2,000 subscribers, and one video got 500,000 views. That's a very good sign that show that the channel is getting a very high view count compared to the subscriber base, and they just started, which means YouTube is promoting those ideas for a reason, which also serves as a great way to find video idea. And one thing I would say, don't seek result too early. I tell people your first 30 video, act like you're not gonna get views. Obviously, you want to have some expectation to make sure you produce a good video. But I tell people the first 30 video you're gonna upload on the platform are gonna be usually testing video. There is some time, like I remember in the past, I used to make videos where I had a couple channels where they would go viral within like the first 10th video or the 8th video. But these are rare moments, because usually when you start uploading on your channel, the first couple of videos, the algorithm is trying to study your channel, understand what your channel is about, slowly promoting to a smaller audience before, just boosting your channel. So it want to test the water. So you're not going to get hundreds of thousands of views. Realistically, it's more of a consistency game, an improvement game, and eventually you're going to start seeing some momentum from a couple of videos, and you can see what made those videos stand out compared to the other, and you double down on what's working. And lastly is always follow the same template of thumbnail. Usually have some sort of primary text or font that you use. Now, for example, I'm gonna take a channel like Alux, right? And it have to be some sort of thing that make your channel stand out. Now, Alux is a Faceless channel, and they have that blue theme to their channel that always stand out. That people, once they're scrolling, they can know, okay, that's Alux. And also, they add their logo to the thumbnail too. A lot of successful channels that I've seen usually have some sort of branding that goes on there. It might even be the font, as simple as the font that they use for the writing. That kind of keep a consistency when people are scrolling through their channel. So I highly recommend you have some sort of template for thumbnail, or if you have a designer that's doing it, usually they'll have a template that they use for most of your thumbnail in general. So guys, it's gonna be the end of this video. And it took me a good minute to actually come up with this and put everything for you guys. So if you guys found value in this video, be sure to like, be sure to comment. If you have any question, you can also comment. I'm also going to be responding to the comments if you guys have any question. And also, if you want to reach out to me faster, because it might take me a little bit while, you guys can actually DM me on Instagram. So you guys can DM me on Instagram. And if you guys actually want the sheet also, I can just download it as a PDF and send it. I'll just have it on my Google Drive. But if you guys want the sheet, you guys just message me on Instagram. That way I can actually just DM it to you if you just want the PDF, or send you the Google Drive link for it. I'll just download it. So if you guys want that, you guys can just ask for it on my Instagram, and I'll actually reach out to you and send you that. And of course, it's just for a few amount of people. If you're someone that want me to actually implement this for you, there's going to be a link below where you can actually book a strategy call with us, or you can actually walk through the process. Or if you already have a channel and you want me to actually build it for you and pass it on to you as you start getting some momentum or start getting some traction, automate the process, you can book a call with me. It's usually a free strategy call. I'll be quite honest, usually there's a price to it, but the price really vary based on how much help that you need. So based on how many of those things you need me to help you implement, also where you are, if you're a little bit further, the price is going to be a lot more cheaper. So we actually get into a one-on-one call. We actually dissect where you are and where you want to get to. Worst thing is you walk out with a game plan, and that's basically the end of the call. If you not qualify, or if you don't want to work with us also too at the same time, because we're not a fit for everybody, to be quite honest, and not everybody's a fit for us too. So you can book a call below, and you can actually talk to me or either one of my partner, or we can actually walk you through the process, or create a battle plan based on where you are and also where you want to get to. The link for that will be below. There's no email like opt-in, yada yada yada, video convincing you about why you should work with me, anything like that. It's just a straight up call. Ask me where you are, where you want to get to, and we break down a solid plan for you. And if you want us to use it, or you want us to implement it for you, done for you, then we'll tell you how that works. But if you just want to do it yourself, then it's completely free, to be quite honest. So I'll see you guys in the next video. If you find value, again, be sure to like this video. And again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.